again, no teachers ever did anything inappropriate with me, nothing like that. Like, I don't want to even like go there. Now let me just say as a disclaimer that I did not have sex with any of my teachers till after I was out of school and of age, or college rather. Bullied. I was getting fucked by my teachers, Mike, so I was a little bit darker than you think. Like,
well, the only
myself in 2005. That's why my band is 2005, because it was the most trauma of my life, because teachers wouldn't leave me alone and they'd come to my house and just R-word me.
Okay, so in the video we're about to look at, it's from Mysterious's life, so all credit to her, and I'll put the link down in the description. And at the time, Trisha actually had over 1 million subscribers, so she was sending this out to her young and impressionable audience. And I mean, she actually named, as we know, named the teachers who people knew at this time, because she'd already done the Draw My Life video. People knew at the time where she'd gone to school and all put the evidence together and were able to work out what teachers, specifically who they were, and allegedly what they had done. And with all the content surrounding Trisha, it seems lately, trigger warning.
So I was always a little seductress back in the day. Is that a little too much cleave? A little too much cleave? Is there ever too much cleave for YouTube? Yes. But how to seduce your teacher. So back in the day, I had crushes on all my teachers. Sent me from 4th grade. My 4th grade teacher, Mr. I was in love with. He was a hippie with a ponytail and earring, and I passed that one time, and he carried me to the nurse's office after we had our hepatitis B shots. Sexual. And I think he felt the heat too. I totally get it.
Oh my god, Trisha! He felt the heat too. You were in 4th grade, girl. And again, this was going out to her young audience when she had 1 million followers. That's not what you have been saying now, and not what you were saying publicly about a man who can't even defend himself.
We moved on. My next crush was, I want to say, freshman year, Mr. Byron High School. He was the English teacher, but also the gym teacher and wrestling coach, and we had heart rate monitors, and I always was like, I don't know how to get my heart rate monitor on. Could you help me, Mr. Hot, premature gray, but sexy, fit, tight little body. Then I moved schools to Pecatonica High School, where it was my ultimate teacher crush, Mr. who was my sophomore biology teacher, and oh my god, his glasses and his muscles and his talking, and I would always go see him on my breaks, or I'd always get out of class and be like, I have to go see Mr. I left my book in his room, and the seduction just started. Now let me just say as a disclaimer that I did not have sex with any of my teachers.
Wait, what was that, Trisha? You never had any relationships with your teacher until you were of age. Okay, right. Again, this is just so gross on so many levels. She's encouraging, the majority of her audience at this point was minors, so she's encouraging them to be flirtatious with older men and potentially get not only them, but these men in awful situations and potentially even career-ruining situations.
I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my theater teacher, and it was very easy to seduce him because I had a tight little body, and I was just like, hey, want to go out? And that was it. So you might have clicked on this video thinking that I was going to give you a bunch of silly tips and make it really funny, but if you actually want to seduce your teacher, there is a few things that you should do. One, I giggled a lot. I think giggling schoolgirls are the cutest little thing ever, especially when you are young. Also, disclaimer, if you are underage, under the age of 18, you are not legally allowed to have sex with a teacher, nor do I think if you are 18, I don't think teachers and students can have sex when they're actually in a student-teacher relationship. After school, after graduation, that's a whole other story. You can do what you want. Just, look out for each other's reputations.
Again, she's just encouraging her young girl audience to try and sexualize themselves in front of their teachers. I mean, if something did happen between her and a teacher, you'd think that she would say something here, because she seemingly is acknowledging that it's not okay for that to happen.
But yeah, so giggle, I love to giggle. I think I giggled all the way up until, well, literally last week when I was looking at the community colleges. I was like, oh really? Giggling just always works in general for seducing anyone. Also asking to be tutored, not necessarily dumbing yourself down, but just needing a little extra help or wondering how you can get a little extra credit. That was my favorite thing today. I'd just be like, is there a way I can just get extra credit? Like maybe help you out after school, set up for the math fair. Little things like that I think is super, super cute. It also doesn't help to have similar interests as the teacher you are interested in. Mr. was into movies, as was I, so it was really great. We had a kind of a bond over Quentin Tarantino films, but I knew he was a really big fan of like Robert De Niro and like those kind of things, so I would start renting Robert De Niro movies and talking to him about it. Or if there was a movie he would bring up that he really liked, if I haven't seen it, I was like, oh, I haven't seen it. He would like lend me the DVD, so it gave me like an excuse to come see him. He's like, oh, pick up the DVD after school or something like that. Back in my day, you could close the doors, but I think now I'm pretty sure there's an open door thing where like if a teacher and a student are together, the door has to be open, so no hanky-panky there. And I didn't with any of the teachers that I mentioned, just FYI, if they're still teaching. Definitely didn't, definitely wanted to, definitely didn't.
But the story has clearly gone from her not having any relationships with her teacher to now her being SA'd by her teachers. And not only that, but she's naming them, and these people, you know, they just want a private life, get on with their own life in their hometown and not have their names dragged through the mud in all of this internet drama, which is actually just, it's becoming a lot more than drama. It's becoming legal accusations.
Till after I was out of school and of age, or college rather. I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my theater teacher, and it was very easy to seduce him because I had a tight little body, and I was just like, hey.
And here is a screenshot of the forum that was actually discussing this particular video. The commenter goes on to say, how the fuck can she imply that her 4th grade teacher was attracted to her and feeling the heat? This shit is why parents freak out and don't trust male teachers. So as you can see, even at the time of the video being released, people were not happy with what she was doing. Another comment goes on to say, that was so disturbing. I don't even know what to say. Oh my god, what was she thinking? And even though the video might be her just trolling, she contributes to the objectification and sexualization of young schoolgirls, which is horrible and absolutely vile in so many ways. Ugh. And that comment was actually in response to someone else saying, OMG, someone in the comment section was actually able to find Mr. Redacted. Not only did she use his real name, but they found her school through the Draw My Life video. Hopefully she was lying about him. And then the original person says, OMG, I was so sure this was going to happen sooner or later. She has 1 million subscribers and chooses to use her teacher's name. And this comment is really bad as well. It goes on to say, I'm sure he'll be told about it really soon. A couple of the girls currently in his class are commenting and squealing about it. They'll probably tell him it's a joke, and then when he realises the gravity of the situation, oh my gosh, imagine. This is all just so serious and so awful. The next comment then clarifies that the teacher seduce video is now privated. And this next piece of evidence is a video that's actually still up on Trisha's channel, and it's her dancing to a song with everything I'm about to read was actually written in her description, and like I said, it's actually still up now. Ever since the 4th grade, I remember feeling all tingly and, dare I say it, sexual inside, not only when it came to fellow classmates, boys, but when it came to my teachers, men. I can't believe I'm even admitting this. My goodness, it's really the only reason I stayed in school. I remember telling my mum about my crushes. I think she was a little freaked out. Haha. I was a little weirdo. Awful thing is, like, everyone knew about my mad love. Let me break it down for you. 4th grade, homeroom teacher, Mr. Brawny. He had a long ponytail, somewhat of a hippie. Carried me when I passed out from the nurse's office. So heroic, so unique. He always popped that breath mint in before talking to me. Sigh. Freshman year of high school, English, Mr. Baker. He recited Shakespeare. He had me right then and there, so distinguished. He had premature grey hair and was the wrestling coach. Whenever he touched me, I was like, ah. Saved all my papers from him and my heart rate monitor that I had him strap around me because silly me couldn't figure it out. And Trisha did actually mention this in that video we just watched earlier. Junior year of high school, science, Mr. Dunn. This one was pretty bad. I was a little 16-year-old stalker. I would stop by his room on my breaks to talk to him about movies and whatnot. He even lent me his copy of Seven, which was a huge deal. The guy had it all. Brains, brawns and glasses. Football coach. I was a cheerleader. Major American beauty fantasies with this one. She then goes on to say, 2nd year of college, acting, Jason. Okay, so I guess I was an adult with this one, not young girl, but still, he was my teacher. And the authority he had, that gets this little girl's heart pumping. And the innuendos were amazing. It was actually legal to be flirtatious. definitely reminiscent of the old days of my inappropriate crushes. And in the video we just watched a minute ago, she actually said that with her acting teacher in college, she had a consensual sexual relationship, so this could be that guy. And finally, at the end of the description, she says, "So before you'll think I'm a big ol' hussy, let me explain. These were all just crushes, totally didn't act on it. I would just go home and make out with my couch and think of them. It was all really, really hard to concentrate in school. But I never quit thanks to them, not to mention I am obsessed with Sting." So again, she's saying here that nothing ever happened between her and her teachers. Although I will point out, Mr. Riley's name isn't mentioned here. Whether that is evidence in Trisha's favour or not, I'm not sure. And this next little piece of evidence is back from the Frenemies podcast, where Trisha flippantly says, that she was getting R-worded from her teachers.
Bullied. I was getting fucked by my teachers, Mike, so I was a little bit darker than you think.
You were getting bullied.
I was like,
that's so funny.
I'm pretty sure I was getting and R-word by my teachers, and the principal didn't believe me, and I had to endure it every
single day. You gotta love what a dumb is. He's like, you were bullied, you piece of shit. You had it coming.
Because they're the people that were bullied. They're the people that were bullied. Like Trisha was bullied.
What is he basing that off of?
Because I'm fat? I don't know.
What the fuck?
I definitely was, and I definitely
I love how when it comes to me, he's like, he was bullied, but he says it like a fact. Like, Trisha, she was bullied. Ethan, come on. You know he was probably bullied.
I literally never said that ever. And also just like,
well, the only
myself in 2005. That's why my band is 2005, because it was the most trauma of my life, because teachers wouldn't leave me alone and they'd come to my house and just R-word me.
I just think, I'm sorry, that's so traumatic, but I think it's hilarious that he calls that bullying.
So here, Trisha's story has now changed to the teachers actually coming to her house and R-wording her. Completely not what she was saying in those previous older videos we saw. And again, in this next little clip I'll show you, she says again that nothing ever happened between her and her teachers.
Freshman year of English gym that I had a wrestling coach. He was our gym teacher and English teacher. He was so hot. He was premature gray. He was so freaking hot. Oh, loved him. And I loved, like, I would always be like, I don't know, like, where do I put the heart? We had heart rate monitors. Like, where do I put the heart? Like, I was like the little means. Like, again, no teachers ever did anything appropriate with me. Nothing like that. Like, I don't want to even, like, go there. My biology teacher my sophomore year was, like, my ultimate crush. Like, I just got so turned on by him. Like, so much. Like, I literally, like, got wet in the panties in class over him. He was so, so hot. And then my college teachers, I was just like teachers, and I liked authority figures, and I liked people who had control and who were educated.
Everything is just so messy and just so, so, so sad. I mean, the poor family of the man who's now his name is being tarnished, and he can't even defend himself because he's no longer here. I mean, the upset that she's causing through the town, not only just for that family, but through the whole town, and the school's reputation as well. It's just, there's so many levels to how bad this is, and I don't know if Trisha gets it. Trisha just needs to come out and clarify everything, because this is just awful. And not only is it so awful to just discredit this whole man's legacy that he left at this school, but you're discrediting other SA victims and now preventing them from wanting to come forward, because people aren't going to believe them. Because people will now think back to, oh, well, that person actually told a massive lie and we all believed her initially. What if this person is doing the same? This is just so, so bad. And I'm not sure what else I can say on it. I'll leave a link down below if you need any help with any support for anything covered in this video. And if you like this video, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of this year, so I'd really appreciate if you hit the thumbs up and subbed. So that's it for now. Thank you. Bye.
Say what you wanna say.